Hey there, mamas! You are listening to Release Your Inner Power podcast, where we talk about having both me time and being the best mom, sharing stories, encouragement, and tips for taking the steps to release that inner power and that mom guilt. I'm your host, Shauna B. Here we go. One quick thing before we get started. I will be doing a drawing for a fun gift each month. Here are 3 ways to enter. You can email me to share your juicy takeaways, topic ideas you want to hear, or share a story. Share this podcast on social media and tag me with what episode you listened to and what you learned or loved about it. And if you leave a review, you will get 2 entries into the drawing. I will announce the winner the last week of each month. Okay, let's get started. Guess what? Something new is coming in January and February, and I want to give you guys all the little tidbits on it here. I have something that is coming out. If you are a person that struggles with finishing something or starting a new task but you don't complete it, or you want to start something new, or you want to just get adventurous and go out and try something else, or you are having a little trouble working through some guilt because you don't think that you should be doing those things, I have something for you. I am making small community. I have 2 of them. Small community where women come together to communicate, to connect, to support each other with live coaching from me. It is a monthly membership. I can give you all the details. There is a link in the show notes that goes into description on what this is. And I have 2 of them starting January and February. If you want on the list, send me your email so I can get you on this list. Limited spots available to help you accomplish your new year goals. Hello, everybody. I wanted to do an episode on something and kind of have some real talk here. I am currently sitting in my car and thinking about many things and have come to some realizations and kind of coming out of the fog a little bit. And I just wanted to know, is anyone else feeling it this season or have felt it this season? Maybe you're coming out of it. Maybe you're still in the trenches. Maybe you're clawing to get out of the trenches. I felt like these last few months have been heavy and they've been deep and they've been, really having to work through some stuff, but I don't feel like it's individualized. I feel like, yes, we have our own situations and scenarios that we are working through. At the same time, I feel like collectively, everyone is really going through some shit right now, like going through it, like having to work through some stuff and really being forced to maybe check in with yourself or check in what's important or check in, how am I going to do this? Or backing up, taking a couple steps back and being like, man, I really need to slow down here and concentrate on some things. So I just wanted to share a little bit with you guys about what, I have been going through the last couple months and, maybe giving some tips and stuff that I use to try to get out of this. And I still think I'm coming out of it. I don't think I'm fully out of it yet, but I do think that I'm in the process and I feel completely different than I did even 2 weeks ago. But this season or this last season, or maybe it's because it's winter time. Normally the winter and darkness and rain doesn't bother me at all. Like I can go through it. It's just the weather that we're here. From where I'm from in the Pacific Northwest, it's usually the norm. It's not, something that really bothers me. I might be like, oh yeah, I'm ready for spring, but not like this. This was different. It was like before winter solstice even. It was like, I'm over the darkness and the winter and I just want to be outside and I want to play and I want to do all the happy things and I don't want to be stuck inside anymore. And I don't want to be cold. And I'm done with the rain and the wetness. And I'm done with the darkness, right? It's been a thing. I also have had, I feel like, what have I been calling it? Mommy burnout. I feel like I have hit a mommy burnout. I am a single mom of 3 kiddos. And so 4 people's lives I'm trying to, guide and I'm including myself, by the way, but like trying to guide and like teach and learn and like be my best self, and then like, kind of like ripple into them, being the guide for them, being the light for them, having them choose the ways, of what they want And when you have to show up for 3 people, when you are like over it, not feeling it, you're done, you're like, I just want to frickin' get in bed and put the covers over my head and sleep for a couple days, and then maybe I'll feel better. I mean, it's hard. It is hard, right? And you may not even, like, for me, I didn't know what was going on. I didn't know why I was going through this season. I knew I felt like shit. I knew I felt like I didn't want to do anything. I knew I felt like I was being grinchy, like I didn't want to put the tree up. I was being grouchy about it, or like, Christmas presents, but I don't want to buy those. I don't want to really do, whoop-de-doo, holiday. Like, I was for real the Grinch. Like, it was bananas crazy how bad it was. Now, did I still do all the things? Yeah, I put up the tree. My kids helped me with, the ornaments and like decorating the house, and then going Christmas shopping, and then wrapping the presents. But it was like I was doing it like all grumbly, like grouchy old woman style. Like, I don't want to be wrapping these presents, and I'm sitting here and I'm filling out my Christmas cards, because I know how good it's going to make me feel when it's done. But man, it was hard to do that. Man, it was hard to fill out those cards. It was hard to even come up with the list to give them. Like, when I made them, I was like, yeah, these are so gorgeous. I love these. I'm so excited. I finally got to have family photos taken of all of us. And I don't even know how many years. Let's be real. And then, I get these pictures and I'm excited to show everybody. And then I get the cards and I'm in the bleh mode. Like, whatever. It's hard to fill them out and send them out. Do I do it anyways? Yes. I totally understand the feeling of not wanting to do something and not being motivated, but leaning into it and doing it anyway, because in the end, the result is so much freaking better and the payoff is so much better, and you just feel good about doing it. And then you're glad that you sent them out, and then you're not like all in the regret mode and then back in the trench of feeling guilty and regret and I shoulda, coulda, wouldas and all the things that, make you feel like crap. Let's not do that, right? I just feel like the demands were higher this season. Like the demands of my kiddos, each one individually, and what they needed help with and what they really needed guidance on, and what to like really, really be there for them. Really be there and be present and understand what their needs are and what they need in order to get them to the other side. At the same time, trying to navigate this meh and the I don't want to. Like my own adult temper tantrum that I'm trying to hold it together, but also be like a good mom. And it was hard. I did it. I mean, I had I have lists of things that when I get in modes or when I get in moods or when things happen in circumstances, because I also had, I don't even know, 4 or 5 external circumstances that were dramatically impacting my children and my life. And I felt like the hits kept coming and the punches kept coming. And I was extremely frustrated. I got extremely pissed on a couple of these things because I felt like the support on where I needed the support or where I needed help, where I assumed it would come from, was not there. It was like I was totally on my own. It was literally like, no one is coming to save you. How are you going to take care of this? How are you going to handle this? How are you going to protect your family? How are you going to be able to be there, show up, have the boundaries, and get the most for your family? And it was a struggle because I was already struggling, right? I was already struggling. I was already being grinchy. I was already not in the mood. And I think it was the combination, being a single mom, going to work. I'm doing 2 jobs, right? I'm taking care of my 3 kiddos and their needs. And then we're going to slap some Christmas stuff on there. And then we're going to, 'tis the season for holidays and being around family and merry and buying presents and making sure that you can, financially cover all those things. Oh yeah. Okay. I can, but then like, what do they want? And then, are we going to do this? Are we going to do experiences? This year, are we going to do presents? And then, oh my gosh, we have to decorate. And then the external things come. Like there was a few times in the last couple of months where it was like, whoa, pump the brakes. I'm going to hit the pause button right here. I'm going to evaluate, what do I need right now? So checking in with myself and being like, there was one day where I was like, I need to go on a walk. I can't. Like I stopped everything I was doing And I asked my kids if they wanted to go on a walk with me, and I just went on a walk just to take a break. I didn't have anything but my kids. We're just chatting it up, looking at people's yards. Oh, I wonder what those lights look like when it's dark. And, like really just taking in the sunshine because it was sunny that day. Knowing that it was cold, like feeling the coldness, seeing our breath, talking about stuff, talking about if they wanted to ride their bikes. Do they want to go to this park over here? Do they want to walk to the school? And just really like connecting and being outside. Like took a second for me to reset. And it was interesting because I have walks. I have taking naps. I have walking away from something and coming back. I have working out. I have phoning a friend and calling and just unloading and throwing up everything all over them. So I can like talk to think and talk it out, right? I have this podcast to help fuel me because I freaking love it. And I love meeting people and I love having conversations and I love chatting. I have, my coaching business and helping other people that also fuels me. All of these things, taking adventures, going on hikes. I don't hike as much in the winter time, but I still do it. And I hadn't done it for a little while. And so I felt like all my connection and all of my things that I usually do to fill myself up was like even harder to do even then. And I would do them anyway. Like even if it was harder, I would still do it. Like go for a walk or, oh my gosh, I shouldn't take a nap right now. This isn't going to work. What do I do? All the things. And I would still take a nap. And then I would get up and I would, be like, okay, now what am I going to do? I had to like pump the brakes and back it up. What do I really need? So check in with myself. Have I eaten? Have I drinking water? Have I moved my body? Do I need to journal this out? Do I need to phone a friend? And pick one thing from that list to do just to fill me up enough for just the day. I'm not thinking about tomorrow. I'm not thinking about next week. I'm not thinking about next month. I'm thinking about today. What can I do right now so I can get to dinner time and not be a grumpy pants McGee? How do I do that? Right? And then I would even back it up some more. Like I also felt very overwhelmed because it was like, I have all this stuff to do because of the season, just because of normal everyday life, because of business, because of work, all of the things that I knew that I needed to have, like, your to-do list that's forever done, right? Forever adding to it. And then you're forever doing it. Well, I have to at least do something because if I feel like my list is piling up, I get super overwhelmed and I don't like it. I'm sure I'm not the only one here, right? Now, I would pick one thing, and it would be a smaller thing. Like I really need to sweep and I really need to clean the bathrooms and I need to do the load of dishes. Those are the things that are like really irking me and bothering me right now. Okay, well, I just picked one. By the end of the day, I need to have the dishes done. And there was times where I would do the dishes and I would feel better and I'd be like, oh, that feels really good. I did that. Okay, so now I can pick something else. And then there was times where I didn't have it. I didn't have it in me. And I needed to do, let's say, those 3 things, right? And so I called a little family meeting with my kiddos and I'm like, hey guys, I got these 3 things that I need to do and I really want them done today. And I was honest with them and I'm like, I'm really struggling to get all this stuff done. And I would really like to come together as a family and we each pick one thing and we do it to feel better and get things done and less things to do. We all came together as a family and we all did it together. That felt so great. They felt great about helping me. I felt great about having everything done. And then after dinner, it's like, you know what? Now I'm just going to relax because today I took the next step. I did the next thing. And then I would look at night at what is the one thing that I want to do tomorrow? What is the one thing on my list tomorrow? And if I didn't have that answer, I didn't worry about it. The next morning, I'd be like, what do I feel like today? How do I feel today? Do I feel better than yesterday? What am I going to look forward to today? What is the one thing that I'm going to do for myself today? How am I going to get through this? And really like focusing on what I need to make it through just for the day. Just so I don't want to be a grumpy pants every day, It was really important for me to check in with that and figure it out and know like I need to be checking in with myself. And what I realized what I ended up realizing is even doing these little steps, pumping the brakes, backing up, breaking it down, doing little small steps, but feeling really good about how I was moving through it, but still feeling grinchy, still feeling like I'm over this. I can't, I don't know what my deal is. I'm just a crabby bee, and I'm just like, are we done with this season yet? Are we like on to the next year, blah, blah, blah. There was times where I was like that. But what I realized is like, oh my gosh, two things. I needed to sit in the shit. What do I mean by that? I needed to sit with my feelings. I needed to sit in the season. I needed to sit with this and really feel it and understand that I was going through something that I may not understand. And sometimes you don't need to know the answers of why you're feeling like this, or how, or what is making you, or what it is, or what, finding out answers, finding out the things. Sometimes that's not necessary, and you just need to sit in it for a couple days and be like, okay, today is not the day. And I'm okay with that. And I need to just be, and I just need to work through it. And I just need to do, what I need to do just for the day, right? Just to work through it. Because usually when you are, I call it like tested or going through it, or tornadoes are coming through and upheaving your life and you got to put the pieces back together, sometimes you have to watch the tornado or walk through the tornado, not even understanding fully where and when and how and all the things of the tornado in your life to get to the other side. You still have to walk through it. And me taking the time to sit in it and being okay with not finding everything and fixing it. And, I was so avid about fixing it for the first couple of weeks that I was completely missing the mark of just doing, working through it without having all of the answers. And then when you start to come out of that trench, when I started to come out and actually climb out of it, that's when the fog started to lift. And I'm like, holy whoop. I was in mommy burnout. There was like way too much going on. I needed to back up. I needed to check in with myself. This is what I felt like for mommy burnout. And I feel like peaks and valleys, like all of us busy women do that. We have times of burnout and times of not, times of burnout and times of not. And it's what we do while we're sitting in the shit, when we're trying to take one day at a time, when we're trying to put one foot in front of the other. Those are the things that are going to help us through this tornado and putting the pieces back together so we can finally get out of the fog and climb out of this trench, and we can feel much better, even if it's a lingering thing, even if some things are going on. Still, when you're climbing out of it, you're going to be able to see more clear. You're going to be able to see, oh, okay, this feels better. I'm feeling this. And then start getting on that wheel of moving faster, like you're picking up momentum, if you will, to get back to your normal self, to get back on that wagon, to get back on the train, to motivate, encourage yourself, and to keep moving forward and working towards the next thing. Because you come out so much better on the other side. I know that on this other side of this season, storm, month, year, whatever at the end of this is, that I'm going to feel amazing and it's going to feel so much better. And I'm going through this whole transformation period because I'm already starting to come out and I'm having some realizations. I'm having some clarity. I'm knowing what's going on. And I'm so grateful that it's here and that I'm seeing it. And it's almost giving me the motivation to continue and keep going. Just to see what I can see more, just to see what comes up, just to see what's next. Because when we go through these trials, if you will, you come out so much better on the other side. And usually there's something here that you don't even know is coming. It's like, oh, out of the blue, this happened to me. And oh, this is such a great thing that happened. Let me tell you about it. Those are the situations that come out from working through the storm. Those are the situations that come out of working through this tornado. So I just want to say before I go that if you feel like you're in mommy burnout and you feel like you're over it and you just want to go to sleep and you don't even want to do the day and you are just a crabby bee and you're like, man, I don't really want to do this. I don't want to do this. I'm done being a mom. What I say, South America. I'm going to drive to South America because I'm freaking over it. If you're there, I feel like it's the season, girl. I feel like this is what's going on. I feel like it's heavy. I feel like it's intense. And I feel like it's okay to pump the brakes, back it up, and do one step at a time. So what can you do to fill yourself up today just to be enough to be okay with today? just to be enough to be okay with today. It's okay to slow down for a little bit. It's okay to pump the brakes. It's okay to give yourself grace and permission to be like, you know what? I can only wear pajamas today and make dinner and hang out and do nothing with my kids and just check out for a second, because that's the time that I need to rest. Or I'm okay with just being able to walk today, going on a walk for a little bit and coming back. And that's it. That was my big to-do. Being okay with that, because that's working through it. That's getting through it. That's doing something. That's sticking a toe in. That's taking a step. The other side is there, but you got to work through it. You got to work through it, and you can. So here's to working through the trenches and getting through that mommy burnout in a heavy, grinchy season, to shed some of that off and let that go for what's to come on the other side. I'm excited to see what's coming. I just want to say thank you for listening. I hope you enjoyed today's episode, learned something new, or got a juicy takeaway that will bring in that heck yeah back into your life. I release a new episode each week, so make sure to subscribe. If you love the show, want to share a story, comment below. If you know someone that would love or need this episode, be sure to share it with them. I'm sure they would love you for it. Tag me and find me on social media at Ignited Decisions on Instagram and Shauna with Ignited Decisions on Facebook. I would love to know what episode you listened to and how it helped you, as well as connect on social. Okay, mamas, claim your time and release your inner power.